Baruch Hashem Yahuwah Eloheinu melech olam. Baruch is he, Yahuwah, the mighty one of the Shamaim and the Eretz, who has kodeshed us with the Torah and commanded us to be a light to the nations of the earth. Greet you all, Anishma. What's up, Anashim, the people, the Ha'am, Mishpakah, family, Shalom Yahudim, Ma Shalom Ha, and Ma Shalom Ka. I greet you all this Yom, to all the Ba'it house of Yasharel, all the Goyim coming out of paganism, idolatry, all forms of false worship, all the Goyim feeling alienated, but now being grafted in to the Ba'it of Yasharel. Shalom Aleikum, Shalom Shalim. Welcome to the Eliyahu's channel. Praise Abba Yah for this great opportunity to be with you this Yom and to present to you another Parashat. And this is Chayei Serah. We're about to fellowship and explore together these next chapters of Bereshit, chapter 23, starting from verse 1, all the way to chapter 25, ending at verse 18. Now, traditionally, this Parashat does not, it says the Chayei, the life. I put the word life there. I know life is a pagan Greek deity spirit, but I wanted people that are crossing over to be able to see what the word Chayei is. The clean word is Chai. When I say my Chai, it's better than saying my life. It's like you don't say my soul. Soul is the Greek word psyche. Yeah, that's right. Letter for letter, psyche. The psyche. We have a nefesh. It's a stored memory, spiritual being of memory. Okay, so Parashat Chayei Serah. It says the Chayei of Serah, but the whole story is only about her death and burial. Now I'm coming out with a 4-part series in the book of Yasher. I got two already pre-edited, ready to upload, but I want to finish the other 2 before I put all 4 up. Part 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the history of Abraham to Abraham's journey. But Sarai is in that history when they got married, the age, their journey together, showing Sarai's Chayei also, as well as Abraham Chayei as well. So welcome to the Eliyahu's channel as we get ready to share this parashat. Of course, as I always, you can skip ahead this introduction if you're used to my videos. You can go to the image of Esort and start the reading with us. But in this short 1 minute or so introduction, I want to share that we don't use the replacement theology. We correct those replacement Catholic Latin word. Some people think they're English, but they're Greek, Latin, pagan words, mixture in the English language. Some are Germanic words that are in the Christian English Bibles, King James and others, and even the Messianics and the Rabbinical Talmud, also in all their books that are translated to English in different countries, are also mixed with the Catholic Latin paganized words. We're replacing these words to bridge you out. We do it in love, not to put you down, not to degrade you, not to disrespect you, but as a teacher teaching the students to bridge you out and to renounce these things, because the scripture does say to renounce the hidden works of darkness, and renounce them is to self-deliverance. You renounce these hidden works of darkness and all the pagan deity words, and not this way you will have blushing conscience restored, not to use the deity words of Lord, God, and all the rest you see on the screen. You can freeze it for the newbies coming to my different studies of Eliyahu channel or EaglesHavenMinistry.com, EliyahuChannel.com. This is just a brief introduction of some of the baby words, compressed of the words, major words. There's a whole lot more I have in my pamphlets I distribute. Welcome to the EaglesHavenMinistry.com and HaRuachEliyahu channel and EliyahuChannel.com on YouTube, as well as Vimeo, as you see a little print I put there on the screen for you can go. If you have a smart TV, you can watch us there too. Not everything's uploaded yet because that's very time consuming. It takes a lot of database. I mean, a lot of megabytes to put it in there. Thank you for tuning in, and we HaRuachEliyahu for the opportunity to come to your home and celebrate whatever you're using this for, a midweek fellowship, a fellowship by yourself, or using it for your Shabbat, whichever day, Yamim of the Shavua that you celebrate the Shabbat in. And so we thank you for tuning in and being with us to watch, and we'll go through it. Get your scriptures, or you could compare side by side. Some people have asked me to use ISR, some asked me to use the Orthodox Jewish translation, and it bridges us, and I go a little slower because I have to help phonetically sound these with Latin letters, and the way it's written there, because some of it's Yiddish. But so bear with me on that. And but 80% or not 85+% of the words are Ivrie, and you can learn to read it with the Latin letters with me, and we can read it the way it's written with the Orthodox translation. So get your scriptures, and we go side by side. And verse to verse, I know traditionally you could go throughout the internet and you could pull up this Parashat Chayei, and you're going to see all the rabbinical and messianics, and they traditionally give you a 10-minute, 50-minute, 30-minute. See, that's how bad it's getting. Just like in Christianity and Messianic Judaism, they want to do things the short and quick way. Give you a 10-minute parashat. So in 10 minutes, you're on your way for the week. Oh, come on now. Okay? You can stop my videos and come back. Stop my videos and come back. Remember the number. And then you can spread it out and study it and complete it in the hour or so that we do it. And you can get a full parashat of those chapters and follow along throughout the earth. But in rabbinical and messianics, they like to do a commentary, documentary, quick, verbal, compressed 20, 30 minutes. Some take 2 hours in the rabbinical, and they just telling you stories or quoting Rambam or other rabbinical Talmud oral sages, instead of giving you the actual scriptures or the different books of Yesher, Hanuk, or the scriptures they're referenced to. I want to give you the word, so we're going to read it side by side with the word, verse by verse, chapter by chapter, pasuk to pasuk, and barak to barak. Okay? So let's go ahead and, so of course in the Orthodox Jewish translation, they'll have the parashats beginning around about, which makes the cycle for the year, repeated every year. Some people don't read this. They might get its and pieces in the synagogue, which is a pagan word, synagogue. We're not going to get into that right now. It's another story. But they might go into the Ba'it Kodal, or into the place of the Shivas and worship, and get the whole several chapters if they would read it. Instead, they get spoiled by people, or rabbis they call them, or teachers, to go ahead and just tell a compressed story, and they don't have to read the chapters yourself. But in the Orthodox translation and some of the Messianic translations, scriptures, they'll have the title of the parashat throughout the whole 5 books of Torah, and you could follow along without, you can just go up ahead of time, you know what I mean, and see where you're at in the parashats. So it's there already printed for you, the starting and ending points roundabout, even though some years are kind of different verses, little more or less verses, and even the Ashkenazi are different than the Sephardic and the Sephardi, and even the African tribes of Yehudi and Israel. Their parashat's a little different, but you get the whole 5 books of Moshe for that time period. Okay, and of course you can read 5, 6, 7 chapters and finish the whole Tanakh in less than a year. If you do 10 to 12 chapters, you could do the Tanakh, the whole Tanakh, or the Brit Kadash with it, 1+0.5 times a year, a little over a year, 1.5 times you read the scriptures. If you get about 20 chapters, a little less, you can read the scriptures twice, from the whole front to back, okay, twice a year. Anyway, so let's begin. Let's pray. Abba Yah, I pray right now in the Shem of Yeshua Mashiach that your Ruach Kadosh will come upon us, and the same anointing that's here present with me will be with them where they're at. I ask for the presence of the Ruach Kadosh to be upon your people, to touch them with your word and Torah, and that Father, that you would speak to them as we read these stories and we do a midrash and we look at the depth of the Hebrew in this Parashat and get a more reference to other books understanding. We pray that it would broaden everybody of the hearers of the word. Emunah comes by hearing of the word of Torah. And we praise your opportunity, Abba, and welcome the presence of your Ruach Kadosh to come upon us, them that need healing and ministering and deliverance or release of any burdens. We ask that it'll come off as they read the Torah and pray and fellowship as we study together, and give them shalom and also shalom shalim. Amen. Amen. And Sarah was 120 shana old. So she was 127 years. These were the Shani Ha'i of Sarah. Now, it's very brief here, but in the book of Yesher, which I'm going to share, 4 parts series, it's going to be about 4.5 hours, 5 hours long, the 4 parts of the book of Yesher, showing the depth of what really in this one verse, or this one statement, where the Shani of Ha'i of Sarah. So, hello? Is that it? They're just going to talk about her death and where she's buried. All right, so, but there's more detail in the book of Yesher. And Sarah died in Kerat Abba. The same is Hebron in Eretz Canaan. And Abram came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. And Abram stood up from before his dead and spoke unto the Benai Chet, saying, I am a ger, a sojourner. They would put the pagan Catholic word Gentile, but he's a nation of himself and a sojourner with you. Give me a chazah, possession of a kiver, with that I may bury my dead out of my sight. Now, look at this right here in verse 23, in verse 4. In verse 4, it says, I am a foreigner and sojourner, because the word ger is Hebrew number 1616, and it's ger, and it's somebody that's a foreign, distant nation, okay? And a sojourner. Now, this sojourner here is of a different origin than normally. It's not a ger or ger or ger. It is a or knocker. It is a Hebrew number 8453, which means a dweller of native citizen. So he's dwelling with them as a legal, accepted part of the community. Verse 5, and the Beni Het answered Abram, saying unto him, now the tribe of Het, that's what it is. Okay, these are the people that he was living there with. Okay, verse 6, hear us, they called him master or controller, because he was like a prince. You are a Nashi Aloha among us. You are a Nashi Elohim among us. So he's a mighty one. In the voice of Keva, Ini, bury your dead. None of us shall withhold from you his kiver, or quiver, but kiver, that he may bury your dead. 7. And Abram stood up and bowed himself to the people, his people, Haaretz, even to the Benai Chet. And he spoke to them, saying, if it be your nefesh, this is the nefesh is the will of the, they call in the Greek or English soul, or the mind, will, emotion. If it be your nefesh, that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me and intercede for me to Hebron ben Zakar. Verse 9, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah. Now, the cave of Machpelah is where Adam and Hawa are at. Okay? It's always been known that, but it's been there. The other people didn't know what it was. They just thought it was a previous tribe cave of a burial ground, and they left it grown. It could have had some form of Paleo-Shemitic Kitab Ivrie writing there, foreign writing that they're not familiar of. And Abraham knew where it was at because that information is given to him from Noah. No, they also got it from Adam and Hawa when they were buried, because Methuselah and Noah and all of them were alive when they buried. They knew exactly where Machpelah is, right? Which he has, which is on the end of the Sadeh. For the Kasef Mal'eh, full price. He shall give it me for a Rechzah, possession of a giver amongst you. And Ebron dwelt among the Benai Chet, and Ebron the Hittite answered Abram in the hearing of the Benai Chet, even all that went in at the Sha'ar of his city, saying, verse 11, Lo, master, hear me, the Sadeh give I you, and the cave that is therein I give it you, in the presence of the Benai Ami. Give I it you, bury your dead. And Abram bowed down himself before the Am-Haretz, and he spoke unto Abram in the hearing of the Am-Haretz, saying, But if you will give it, now hear me, I will give you Kesef for the Sani, give you acceptable price for the property, accept it from me, and I will bury my dead there. And verse 14, and Abraham answered Abraham, saying unto him, verse 15, Pay heed, master, unto me, or controller. The land is worth 400 shekels of kesef. What is that between me and you? Bury therefore your dead. 16, and Abraham paid heed unto Ephron, and Abraham weighed to Ephron the kesef which he had named in the hearing of the Benai had 400 shekels of kesef according to the current merchant value. Now this is very detailed what we're about to read. Now Machpelah, what we read, is Hebrew number 4375. It's found in Yasher 24:4. That was in verse 9 we read already. But I just wanted to mention that Machpelah means is Machpelah, which it means a fold, F-O-L-D. Okay. Now you notice in verse 16, very carefully here, he basically, you got to read this and meditate on it and look at it in the Hebrew as well. But he paid it unto Ephron. Abram weighed to Ephron the kesef. He weighed it on a scale which he had named in the hearing of the Benai of had 400 shekels of kesef, according to the current merchant value. So he had a scale. He weighed it. Everybody, the elders, you're going to see how many people are witnessing in elders. In the book of Sefer Yasher, it's more detailed how many witnesses and men and people were witnessing. I'm sure their children were there witnessing, learning this tradition. Okay? So it was weighed, and the coins were said out loud. Had named in the hearing of the Benai. He named it out loud as he was counting. 10, 20, 30, 100, 200, 300, 400 shekels of kesef, on and on and on, according to the current merchant. So he said it out loud. He weighed it on a scale. Everybody witnessed it and seen the value of the trade of the merchant of the Dayom, and they made a deed. Verse 17, and the Sedeh of Ephron, which was in Machpelah, which was near Mamre, the Sedeh, and the cave which was therein, and all the trees that were in the Sedeh, that were in all the borders round about, were deeded unto Abraham for a property in the presence of Benai before all that went in and at the Sarah of this city. So there was a big old thing jumping off here. All right, a crowd of witnesses and people, because they're burying Sarai and they're giving respect to a prince that lived among them, a very wealthy man that lived among them. Verse 19, And after this, Abram buried Sarai, his Isha, in the cave of the Sedeh, which Sedeh is field, the field of Machpelah. So he got the field. I don't know how many acres it is. Right now, it's probably about, I would say, about a full acre, but everything around it too. So there's probably a few more hectare or hectares, acreage of Machpelah near Mamre. The same is Hebron in the Eretz of Canaan. And the field, Sedeh, and the cave that is therein were deeded unto Abraham for an akuzah of a kiver by the Benai ahead. So it was all agreed upon, put in paper with witnesses, eyewitnesses alike, and very detailed. Chapter 24, verse 1. And Abraham was Sakin, old, and well stricken in age, and Yahuwah Barak had prospered, past tense, Abraham in all things. Verse 2. And Abraham said unto his Eved Zekan of his Bais, Ha Moshel, that ruled over all that he had put now your yad under your thigh. Now I try to require more information, but this is like a swearing in vow. He put his hand on the thigh. He's not shaking the hand upon the shoulder, looking at each other in the eyes, swearing. He would put the hand under the thigh. This is a tradition of our forefathers. Verse 3. And I will make you swear by Yahuwah Elohim ha-shomayim and Elohi ha-aretz, the mighty one of Shamayim and the mighty one of the earth, that you shall not take an Isha unto Benai of the Banot of Ha-Kenaini, Canaan, but Kenai, that's the full tribe or the group of people among whom I dwell. Verse 4. But you shall go unto my Eretz and to my Molet, and take an Isha unto Benai Ishak. And the Eved said unto him, What if the Isha will not be willing to follow me unto Haretz Hazot? Must I needs bring Benakah back unto Haretz from where you comest? Take your son Ben-Ikah, over there to the relatives? Chapter 24, verse 6. And Abraham said unto him, Beware you that you bring not Benai to there. Yahuwah Elohim ha-Shomayim, which took me from Bais Avi, my forefather's house, and from the Eretz of Lemodit, of my ancestor, the land where he came from, it was spoke unto me, that swore unto me, saying, Unto your seed will I give the Haaretz Hazot. He shall send his Malak before you, and you shall take an Isha unto Benai from there. But if the Isha will not be willing to follow you, then you shall be released from this my Shavuot oath. Only do not bring back Benai there. Verse 9. And the Eved put his yad under Ya'ach, Abraham Adonav, and swore to him concerning this matter. Verse 10. And the Eved took Sarah Gimalim of the Gimali Adonav and departed. For all the goods of Adonav were in his yad. And he arose and went to Aram Naharaim, Mesopotamia, under the Nachor. Verse 11. And he made his Gemalim to kneel down outside the near Ber HaMaim, at the time of Erev, at the time that women go out to draw water. It was the time of evening drawing water. Took his camels and him kneel to get water. Verse 12. And he said, Yahuwah Elohim, master of Abraham, now send me success this yom, and shows Shes is compassion, pity unto my master, or his master, Abraham. Hini, I stand here by the Aim Ha-Ma'im, and the Banot An Shi'i come out to draw maiden. Verse 14, and let it come to pass that the Na'ah, to whom I shall say, let down your jug now that I may drink, and shall say, drink, and I will give your Gimalim drink also. Let the same be she that you have appointed for your Ived Yisaac, and therefore shall I know that you have showed Shes unto my master, his controller. And it came to pass before he had done speaking that Rebqah came out, who was born to Beuel ben Milcah, Ishet Nachor, Aki of Abraham, with her jug upon her shoulder. Verse 16, and the Na'arah was Tovat Moed. Betullah neither had any ish known her, and she went down to Ha'imna, the spring, and filled her jug and came up. Verse 17, and the Ived hurried to meet her and said, let me. Of course, Ived is the servant of Abraham, and let me now drink a little ma'im of your jug. Verse 18, and she said, drink, master, controller. And she hasted and let down her jug upon her yad and gave him drink. Verse 19, and when she had done giving him drink, she said, I will draw for your gimalim also until they have done drinking. And she hastened and emptied her jug into the drought and ran back unto the beer to draw, and drew for all his gemalim. Verse 21, and the ish gazed at her and held his shalom, so as to have to ask whether Yahuwah had made his derek prosperous or not. And it came to pass, just as the gemalim had done drinking, that the ish took a nizim za'av, gold ring, by weight a bekah, and 2 zimidim, bracelets, by weight 10 shekels of gold for her wrist. Boy, that was a lot right there. Verse 23, and said, whose bat are you? Tell me, whose daughter? Now, is there makom in the ma'is of your av for us to spend the night? And she said unto him, I am bat Ba'ituel ben Milcah, the ben which she bore unto Makor. And she said moreover unto him, we have both Tivan, straw, and Mishpu, fodder, enough, and Makom, room to spend the night. And the Ish bowed his head and worshiped Yahuwah right before her. Verse 27, and he said, Baruch Yahuwah Eloheni Adonai, the master of the universe, the master from our master Abraham, who has not left destitute of his compassionate pity, chest, and his emis. I bring on the direct, Yahuwah led me to the Ba'is, Aki Adonai, the master. Verse 28, and the Na'ah ran and told them of her Ba'is and these things. And Rebqah had an Ach, Shmo Lavan, that was her brother. Lavan ran out unto the Ish, the older brother, unto the Aim. Verse 30, and it came to pass when he saw the Nizim and the Zemidim upon the wrist of his Akot, and when he heard the words of Rebqah, his Akot, saying, thus spoke the Ish unto him, that he came unto the Ish, and he stood by the Gamalim at the Aim. And you got to realize the brother Lavan, in the future you could see who he was. He was part pagan worshiper. He was very traditional of all the traditions of men of that region and the paganism. And Lavan was very greedy, as we know his story in the future. So when he saw the bracelet, gold, the earrings, and the nose rings, and all these things he gave her as a gift, and the weight of it, and the purity of it, he got greedy. Oh yeah, come on over to my house. Come on, bring some of that over here. You know, because in the future you can see his character even right here. Because his Abba, Rebecca's Abba is not, he's passed away, which is in full information detail how he died, Abraham's brother, in the book of Yasher. And of course, we've been reading like from Yesher chapter 24, 36, all the way up. And he said, come in, Baruch Yahuwah. Why stand you outside? For I have prepared the bais and makom for the gimalim. Verse 32, and the ish came into the bais, and he unloaded his gimalim, and gave tevin, straw, and mishpah for the camels, and ma'im to wash his raglaim, and the raglaim ha'anashim that were with him, the servants, basically the other 10 servants that were with him. In verse 33, and there was set a okel before him to eat, but he said, I will not eat until I have stated my business. And he said, speak on. And he said in verse 34, I am the servant of Abraham. Abraham. And verse 35, and Yahuwah has Baruch, our master, Meod, and he has become prospered and prosperous, and he has given him Zon, Bakar, Kesef, Zahav, Avidim, Shifakot, and Gimalim, and Chamaim. And Sarah Ishet, the master, bore Ben Adonai when she was old. And this is basically talking about Abraham. And unto him has he given all that he has to his son, Ishak. He's inherited everything. So Lavan's great uncle, Abraham, his uncle, he's telling him how wealthy his uncle is, okay, in the family, and that his what you call cousin, distant cousin, Yisaac, is going to inherit it all. He's telling him ahead of time what's going on. And that opens Lavan's ears. As you read the book of Yesher, you know what's really going on there. Verse 37. And the controller made me swear, saying, which is Abraham, you shall not take an Isha for Benai of the Benot of Ha-Kanaim, in whose land I dwell. But you shall go unto the Bais Avi, to his father's house, and to my Mishpokot, his family, and take an Isha unto Benai. And I said unto the master, my controller, what if the Isha will not follow me? And he said unto him, Yahuwah, before whom I walk, will send his malak with you, and prosper your derek. And you shall take an Isha for Benai of my Mishpokot. Mishpokot. We say Mishpokah, but in Mishpokot is the proper pluralism from his families, and of my Bais Avi. Then shall you be released from this my oath when you comest to my Mishpokot, and if they give not you one, you shall be released from my oath. Verse 42. And I came this yom unto the Aim, and said, Yahuwah Elohi, the master of Abraham, if now you do prosper my direct, which I go. Now keep in mind that Rebecca is 10 years old. That's right. She's 10 years old at this time. And she could be engaged, for she's ready for marriage between 16 and 18. But she's 10 years old at this time, ready, preparing to be betrothed. So she's going to be betrothed. All right, they're not going to, as you see in my stories of the history of Abraham, as well as Sarai and Sarah. I'm giving you a cliffhanger to go to those 4 sessions, which I haven't published it yet. You'll be seeing it pop up on my website. That they didn't even have children until she was 30, and she was barren, and he didn't touch her 2 years later. Okay, so he betrothed her at 10, even when he took Rebecca back. She's 10, she's engaged, but they do not come together. And which you're going to see where she goes. Okay, and I'm going to leave you a hint here until it happens, right? Verse 43. Hini, I stand by the Ain ha-ma'im, and it shall come to pass, and when ha-alma, he's rehearsing to Levan, the brother that's the controller of the house, the mother and the brother, because the father's gone. So the eldest brother, Levan, he is the one that has to release his sister to be engaged, to be betrothed to Yisaac, to be married. Okay? Halama, used here as synonym for Na'ara Betula. This is found in Bereshit 24:16, as well as Yeshayahu 7:14. Cometh forth to draw ma'im water. And I say to her, give me now a little ma'im of your jar to drink. Verse 24. And she said to me, both drink you, and I will also draw for your gimalim. Let the same be the ish whom Hashem Yahuwah has appointed for Ben, my master's son, or the son of my master. Controller, because Yisaac is going to be the next controller of the household. Verse 45. And before I had done divining and davan, or dubbing, or we're dabbing, we say with davan, that's praying, divining. So as soon as I had done praying in my lev, Rebecca came forth with her jar on her shoulder, and she went down onto Ha'anina and drew. She went to the river to draw, and I said unto her, let me drink now. Verse 46, and she made haste and let down her jar from her shoulder and said, drink, and I will give your gimalim drink also. So I drank, and she made the gimalim drink also. Verse 47, and I asked her and said, whose daughter, who bat are you? And she said, bat by Ituel ben Nokor, the Ben whom Milcah bore unto him, and I will put the nizim upon her face, and the zimidim upon her wrist. 48, and I bowed down my head and worshiped Yahuwah, and I said a berekah to Hashem Yahuwah, the mighty one of Abraham, which led me on the direct way amiss to take Bat Aki, the master controller for the son, for Beno, his son. And now, if you will do compassion and amiss to my master, tell me, and if not, tell me, that I may turn to Yamim or to Shmona. The right, left, go back, or go another path. Verse 50. Then Lavan and Bethuel answered and said, the thing proceeded from Yahuwah. We cannot speak unto you Ra or Tov. Verse 51. Hini, Rebecca is before you. Take her and go. Let her be Isha for Ben Adoneka, the son of your master, just as Yahuwah has spoken. And it came to pass that when Abraham heard their words, he worshipped Hashem Yahuwah, bowing himself to the ground. Spontaneous worship going on whenever he hears good deeds. The people could see the fruit of the servants of Abraham, and that they were expressing and showing fruit of the HaRuachEliyahu, of the education and being taught and educated by Abraham. Verse 53, and the Ivrie brought forth Keli Kesef and Keli Zaaf and Begadim, and gave them to Rebecca, and he gave also to her Ak and to her Mikdonat costly gifts. So he gave it to his mother. That's the Emma. He gave it to the mother. He gave it to the brother. He gave it to the family. All these gifts as part of the dowry. He gave them the dowry of exchange because the father's not around. So the son, Laban, is running and controlling with the mother sitting there, and they're agreeing. And he gave the cost of dowry to be betrothed to Yisaac. Okay. Verse 54, and they did eat and drink, he and the Anashim that were with them, and tarried all night, and they rose up in the boker in the morning, and he said, send me away unto my master. Now, the eating and drinking of the ceremony of eating and drinking and celebrating was letting her know Rebecca's now engaged. It's a ceremony. She's betrothed. The dowry has been exchanged. Rebecca's seen this right before her eyes. What is going on? That's right. She's just been engaged to a man she hasn't seen and and they're celebrating that night. Verse 55. And her Ak and her Emma, her Em, said, let the Na'arah abide with us 10 yamim or so. After that she shall go. So they wanted her to stay for their tradition 10 days of celebration, okay, for the engagement of betrothal and the dowry exchange. But yet he said, no, I need to get going right away. This is going too good. Hashem, Yahuwah has made my way prosperous, and the messenger with me, I'm getting this child right back to her proper place where she's going to be, because I don't want to mess this up at all during this time period of traditional 10 days. 56. And he said unto them, hinder me not, seeing Yahuwah has prospered my direct way. Send me away that I may go to my master. And they said, we will call the Narak and inquire out of her mouth. Now she's 10 years old. She knows she's engaged, betrothed. She's been trained. Even though she's 10 years old, she knows what that means, right? She's not going to be with no man personally till she's the proper age of the time of betrothal, being engaged, and then the time of preparation of marriage till she grows and becomes fruitful in her springs of her hayim, in order that she can give children. So she can wait to 14, 15, 16, 18 years old, whatever, but not right now. But she knows what's going on, right? Because back then the girls were trained from childhood to play house and trained to cook, clean, cook, and watching other ceremonies of weddings and getting excitement about their weddings, the way they used to be in this country among girls growing up too, with their grandmothers and mothers. Verse 58, and they called Rebecca and said to her, will you go with this ish? And she said, I will go. Verse 59, and they sent away Rebecca their Akot and her nurse, and Eved Abraham and his Anashim. Now, I'm giving you a hint. I'm giving you a hint right now. Have some fun. All right. Look at this verse 59. I'm going to go to the ISR. So they let go Rebecca, their sister, and her nurse, and Abraham's servant and his men. And they sent away Rebecca, their sister, and her nurse. Oh, something different here. Because when Hagar went to be with Sarai, it was her servants, not a nurse. Okay. And other times women went to be with their husbands. And Sarai went to be with Abraham. It was with her servant or her companions. Right? So here's a hint. She's 10 years old and not ready for complete release. Okay? It says a nurse. This is what you're not going to learn in most Christian books. She is a Yanak. Okay? So it says here to suck, to give milk, milch, nurse, mother, give, suck, child, link. Now, traditionally, guess what she is? This is what we call a nanny today. A Yanak. A nanny that was with Rebecca from the time she was born. Either she was servant, relative that became the nanny of the wealthy family of her father that passed away, and Laban, her brother, that inherited everything. But she had a nurse, so she had a nanny. So this family was well off, but they weren't super wealthy like Abraham. That was a merchant, because he was a merchant, right? Hauling goods with all his 100 and something camels. Now, so it's a nurse. It's a nanny. The nanny is still training her. She's 10 years old. Still training her to raise her up into the preparation during the period of her being engaged, betrothed. That's right. So the nanny goes with Rebecca, the 10-year-old young girl that's now engaged, and she's going to prepare her from then on till she's whatever, 16, 17, 18 years old, ready to go into Isaac's tent. She's not going to go in Isaac's tent yet. I'm going to show you which tent she goes in. It is not Isaac's tent. People get that confused, and they don't understand the difference from a servant, maid servant, or servant girls, or worker girls that are, when they're older, and women that have their own servant girls and they got a wealthy family, or a nurse. This is a nanny raising her, preparing her for marriage. Okay? So this is the hint of, just little hints in verse 59 of the detailed information that's in the book of Sefer Yashar. That's right. So it's her nurse that's like I explained to her, that stays with her and goes with her traveling. She was used to share. What I mean by nurse too, it's like the Apache. When I went even to Navajo Nation or Apache Nation and went to their lectures, the Apaches would they would all the baby boys and girls, all the little children will suck the breast of all the mothers of the tribe. Not all in one day or whatever. They would take turns. Like, let me hold your baby for a while, and she would nurse your baby. And then about 5 hours later, when the mother had to do some errands, another mother or grandmother say, "Hey, you want me to hold your baby for a minute while you do that?" All right, and then she would nurse the baby. All right. So a tradition of the Apaches was that all the men were nursed by all the women of the tribe that were older, and that's why they called them all mothers and grandmothers, because they nursed by them. So evidently Rebecca's mother and this lady that was nursing, we don't know if she had children, she had to have children, have that milk too coming out of her, so she had to be older, like a nanny. She could have been a widow. We don't know the details, not given to us, but traditionally nurses are older women that raised up family of her own and could still give milk. Okay, so this nanny nurse helped nurse Rebecca. Rebecca as a baby also took of the milk of her nurse. That's right. And that's why she would respect her as equal mother, auntie. Like in the Philippines, they would call auntie, auntie. To all the aunts, auntie. All the mothers, auntie. All right, so now, it's the same understanding in the Hebrew mindset of ancient traditions. You got that? Wow, you're learning some stuff here, I know. Right now you're going, whoa, let me get in the dictionary, look this history up. So this is what's going on here. And she's a nanny since the birth of Rebecca and helped nurse her and raised her up. And she's not free from nursing and raising Rebecca up till she goes into the tent of Isaac, until she becomes a woman, and she can still give her nanny advice to raise her children, Rebecca's children, when they come to pass, if she's still alive, the nanny. You got that? Because she's like an aunt that's going for a ride with her where she's going. So, and the family feel better because the grandma nurse or the mother nurse that was with her since a child is not going to let anything happen to her. All right, she's going to protect her just like a mother. All right, great historical information. Huh? It's found in Yashar, a little more details, but I got that from traditional Hebrew information. Verse 60, and they said a berekah over Rebecca. They did a prosperous favor, berekot, prayer, and said unto her, you are akotininu. May you be increased to thousands upon thousands, and may your zerah seed possesses the sa'ir, the gates of those which hate them. Verse 61, and Ribqah rose and her Na'orot, and they rode upon the Gimalim, and followed the Ish, and the Ivrie servants took Rebecca and went his way. And Isaac had come from Ber Laki Ra'i, for he dwelt in the Eretz Negev, the Negev, basically in the land of Negev. Verse 63, and Isaac went out to meditate in the Sadi at Eref, in the valley or in the mountain, the hill where he was at, in that area. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and he, the Gemalim, camels were coming. And you knew whose cars there were. It's like knowing your own truck or own car. You know by the ornaments, you know by the color and the look. Those are Abraham's trucks and cars, or camels, right? In modern day. 64, and Ribqah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Yisaac, she took down from the Gamel. Verse 65, for she had said unto the Ivrie, who is that Ish that walks in the Sadeh to meet us? And the Ev had said, he is our master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself. And the Ivrie told the servants, told Yisaac all things that he had done. And Yisaac brought her into the Oel of Sarah Imo, and took Rebekah, and she became his Isha, and he loved her, and Yisaac was confronted after the Mot Imo. Now, when you normally read this in the Christian books and literature material, I'm going to show you here. And he said, Yisaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent, and he took Ribqah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. Thus Yisaac was confronted after his mother's death. Okay, now look at what you're hearing here, right? You see, Yisaac has his own tent. He has his man cave. Every woman, if a man had 3 or 4 wives, each one will have their own tent. Think all those women can handle in the same tent? No, it doesn't work that way. They have their own tent and have produced their own children, sons for the one man. And the man lived in his own tent too. That's the way it was back then. Right? They didn't all group orgy lived in the same roof. It did not happen that way, right? These are wealthy people here, right? And if they had multiple wives, it would be the same too. They live under the same roof, right? They should have different tents. Now, it says here, Yisaac did not take her. The servants told Yisaac, verse 66, all that matters he had done. So he's now engaged. She's betrothed. Laban and the mother accepted the dowry of exchange for marriage. He's now betrothed in marriage. He's engaged. All right. Now, verse 67. He brought her into not his tent. No. He didn't take her to his man cave where he can complete the marriage. No. He took her into Sarah's tent, her auntie's. He took her to her auntie's tent. It was very plush. It had everything in it. They probably kept the tent up because Sarah just passed away, remember? Weeks, months ago, whatever it was. And they probably kept the tent up. It's like, you're going to destroy the bedroom because she's gone? No, you still leave the bedroom of the house intact, even though there's a lot of tents there, right? So the tent was still intact with all of Sarah's stuff, her goods, all her instruments for raising a child, all her embroidering, sewing, all her things she's done, her like a woman's things. Girls buy things to put things on and put things on. All their cute little things. So all of his auntie's things, her auntie's things is there. So he took Rebekah to that tent and she stayed in Sarah's tent. She inherited everything from Sarah. That's right. You're talking about a lot of years of stuff. All right. Clothing, veils, beautiful things, everything, jewelry. She inherited everything because she became the heir by being married to Yisaac. So she takes everything in that place where they're at. She goes into Sarah's tent. She doesn't go to Isaac's tent. And the nurse goes with Ribqah to that tent and stays with her to prepare her for the years ahead of being engaged or betrothed in marriage until the appointed time that she will be released to go into the tent of Yisaac. All right? But even when they do, once she has a child, she will go back into her own tent and raise the baby on and off, and Yisaac will be in his man cave. Okay, I'm sorry, guys and girls, that's the way it was back then. And that would be equivalent to bedrooms, different rooms and bedrooms. Okay, because even among tradition of Ivrie, even though the Torah wasn't completely out yet, they knew Torah right rules that you can't be with your wife when she's doing her mooning of the time of the month of her stream, and so you have to be in another room, all right, to sleep. They knew that back then. Traditionally, what was clean and unclean, they inherited all that information from Noah, and Abraham taught the right rule, Torah, to his servants and people of everything of being clean in Torah and Torah. Okay, so now, so you're seeing it right here. He didn't take no 10-year-old girl and put her in his tent. No, he was engaged. He put her in Sarah's tent, and he went to his own tent until the nurse could prepare her for marriage. Ain't that something? Whole different story when you read this story with a Hebrew mindset. You hear me now? A Hebrew mindset. Not this Catholic, Christian, Messianic, inherited lies from forefathers and stuff like that. Now, not all Messianic. A lot of Messianic got a Hebrew mindset too, but a lot of them are still stuck with all the Catholic, Latin, pagan words. That's why I'm bridging these words for you and correcting the replacement theology. Replace the theosis. Replace the deity names. That's what theology is, the teaching of the mighty ones. Okay. All right, this is exciting teaching. Now we got chapter 25, 1 through 18 to close this Parashat Chayei Sarah. It doesn't have nothing to do with the story of Sarah. You're going to get the full story of Sarah. It's more of Rebecca here, Ribqah, all right, and Yisaac's story, not Sarah's story. It was so 2 verses in the beginning of the parasha, but you're going to see all the details of Sarah in the book of Sefer Yasher, of the 4-part series I'm going to be uploading soon. Okay, give you some cliffhanger. Check out later. Look for it. Come. Then again, Abraham took an Isha, and her Shem was Keturah, and she bore him Zimran, and Yakshan, and Midan, and Midyan, and Yishbak, and Shuach. Yeah, he took another wife. And verse 3, and Yokshan fathered Sheva and Dedan. So Dedan and Sheva are actually brothers, relatives of Yisaac and Jacob, okay, from Abraham. And Dedan, and the sons of Dedan were Ashrim, that's right, and Leushim, and Lemimim. And see, all these people are relatives living around the same area, and they're actually bloodline that have been conquered by Islam today. So a lot of them are Druids. That's why in Jerusalem there's many Druids in the land of Jerusalem. And Druids are Jews or Israelites that have been there forever, that were forced converted into Islam, but accept everything of Israel ruling according to the scriptures, and they live and are military, police, and everything. Druids, they practice Islam, but they're actually blood Israelites from Abraham. Okay. Verse 4, and the Benai Midyan, Epa, Epher, Hanuk, Avedah, Eldah, all these were the Benai Keturah. All right, these were the children from the first wife of Abraham. Extra, and the other wife he got. Okay. And Abraham gave all that he had unto Yisaac, but unto the Benai Hapilagishim, sons of the concubines. So he had mother concubine wives. Okay, he had concubine wives. They didn't receive no inheritance, which Abraham had. Abraham gave matanot and sent them away from Yisaac Beno while he yet lived eastward unto Eretz Kedim. Now, this 2 verses, 2 or 3 verses, only give you brief. In Sefer Yasher tells you more detail, where they went to live, who they were, their offsprings of distant cousins and brothers and family members, half-brothers of Abraham, Yisaac, Jacob, or the sons of Abraham and half-brothers of Yisaac and Jacob. Okay? And these are the Yamim of the years of Abraham high, which he lived, 100 shanim. So shanim, he lived 100 is 60, and it's 15 would be 70, 75, 175 shanim, 175 years. Homeboy was, and Sarah died in his 40s and 50s, so he ended up having more years with those concubine wives and produced a lot of sons and daughters and children that was spread around his main relatives of Yisaac and Yaakov. And so his offspring was cousins and relatives all around them, but they end up falling away worshiping other mighty ones because he didn't mentor those children. They probably did, but they didn't have enough mentoring and teaching and obedience to Torah. But everybody under Abraham's roof learned Torah. The Torah and the Torah. Everybody under Abraham's roof. You can see that in scriptures, and also in Yashar, the same scriptures have hints that he taught. Even the fathers, when he was going to go against Sodom and Gomorrah, Yahuwah was sitting there with them, and he said to the messengers, he said, let's let Abraham know. We know he teaches his family and everybody the right rule of Torah. He teaches them everything, right? And they circumcise them and all. So all they got dispersed away from Yisaac when he got old to die. He sent them away before his death, at the time probably weeks or hours, and then what ended up happening, they ended up received inheritance and went on their way, but they were all circumcised and they knew Torah in some form of Torah. All right, so praise Abba. Verse 8, and Abram breathed his last and died in a good old age, Zakan, full of years, and was gathered to his people. And his Banim, Ishak and Ishmael, buried him in the cave of Machpelah in the Sadah, the valley of Ivron, Ben Zokar, the Hittite, which is near Mamre. The Sadi, the valley which Abraham purchased of the Beni Het, there was Abraham buried, and Sarah his wife. And they're buried along with Adam and Hawa as well. They're deep down. I have a video on there, the who are your forefathers, the burial ground Machpelah. You can watch that video and get the details of it with pictures. Verse 11, and it came to pass after Abraham that Aloha Baruch Ishak Bono, and Ishak dwelt near Ber Lakai Roi. Verse 12. Now these are the Toldat Ishmael ben Abraham, whom Hagar the Egyptian Shifchat Sarah bore unto Abraham. So they give you a list. It's more detailed in the book of Yashar. And these are, okay, verse 13, and these are the Shimon benai Ishmael, be by their Shimon, according to their Toldat, the Beker of Ishmael, Nevoot, and Kedar, and Adbiel, and Mivsam, Mivav, the V's got a B sound, so it's Mivsam, and Mishma, and Duma, and Masha, verse 15, Chadad, Timah, Yatar, Nafshish, and Kidma, verse 16. These are the Benai Ishmael. He had 12 princes, 12 sons that became princes, rulers, 12 tribes. He got 12 tribes also. Right? He had his own offspring tribe going on, right? These are their Shemot, by their settlements and by their camps. 12 Nasim princes, rulers, according to their tribes. So he ended up with 12 tribes also, just like Ishak. Verse 17, and these are the years of the high of Ishmael, 137 Shana. And he breathed his last and died, and was gathered unto his people. And they dwelt from Havilah unto Sur. That is near Mizraim. As you goest toward Assyria, they took their place east of their brother. So they were east of Mizraim. And And you know that Ishmael's wife was full-blooded Egyptian, and he was half Egyptian because his Hagar was actually one of the concubine daughters of the Pharaoh of Egypt. Right? She was a princess. She wasn't just no slave servant. Part of a peace treaty between Pharaoh and Abraham. Okay, so she had royal blood in her also. So now this concludes, and the next one, see, it's already telling you, the Orthodox Jewish translations is telling you Toldot is the next Parashat, which we will not read till next week. All right, so praise Abba Yah. That was a powerful Parashat, very powerful. Let's go ahead and let's see if we can squeeze in, for the fun of it, the Haftorah. Okay, let's try to squeeze in the Haftorah in it's Melachim Aleph, Perek Ahud, chapter 1, and it's verses 1 through 31. Let's go to that now. Now Melech David was Zakim and stricken in Yamim, and they covered him with Begadim, but he could get no warmer. Verse 2, therefore his Avadim said unto him, let there be sought for the master Ha-Melech Ha-Nara Betullah, and let her stand before Ha-Melech, and let her care for you, and let her lie at your kek bosom, that the master Ha-Melech may be warm. Now here is a marriage that is, he's married to her, but he's not going to have sex with her. He's old. It's just like a young nurse to nurse David, Melech David, to keep him warm at night because he was getting old and cold. And that young body helped him keep him warm, but he did not have sex with her. Okay, it says, explains that in the scriptures. Verse 3. So they sought for a Nara virgin, Yahfeh, throughout all the territory of Yasharal, and found Avishag, Ha-Shunammite, and brought her to Ha-Melech. Verse 4, and the Na'ar was Yahfeh ad Moed, and carried for Ha-Melech, and waited him, but Ha-Melech knew her not. So explains to her the relationship of this servant girl. She got to marry him. She could be she's like a concubine, but they do a elder marriage, because to be in the special place and be a caregiver for an elderly, she had to be married to him, because she's going to bathe him, sponge bath him, and be a part of him, and she would see his nakedness, and to see his nakedness, she had to be married to him. So it's a different, really, rules of a caregiver. Okay, very, very different rules of a caregiver girl for a man. Verse 5. Then Adoniah ben Hagut put himself forward, saying, I will be Melech, and he prepared him Merkavot, chariot, and Parashim, and Chamishim ish to run before him. Verse 6, and Avi had not rebuked him at any time in saying, why have you done so? And he also was told Torah good looking, and Imo bore him after Absalom. And he conferred with Yaov ben Teruah and with Ivatar Abiathar ha-Kohan. So he had a Kohan's permission. He had a Zerah. So in verse 7 he says he conferred to him with Yaov ben Zerah and with Ivatar, and Abath, which is Avatar ha-Kohan, the high Kohanim and elders, and they lent their help following after Adoniah. But the Zadok, ha-Kohanan, the high priest, the Zadok, ha-Kohan, was and Benaiah ben Yehuda and Nathan the Hanavi, and Shimi and Rei and Giboim, which belonged to David, were not with Adoniah. So, and Adoniah means like he's a master of Yah, Yah his master. Yah is his master. That was his name. But some of them split among the court system rulers and the Kohan priests in them. But the Zadok were not involved. And the Zadok are the ones that seal it. They're above the regular Kohan. Okay? Verse 9. And Adoniah sacrificed Zon and Bakar and fatted bulls at the Zakulet Eve, stone of Zehleth, which is in Regel, and invited all his Akim, all his cousins and relatives around him that he associated with, the Benai HaMelech, sons of the Melech, and all the Anishi Yehuda who were Avadim of HaMelech. Verse 10. But Nathan Hanavi and Benaiah and the Giboim and Shlomo, his brother, he invited not. And Nathan and Bathsheba before David. Verse 11. Wherefore Nathan spoke unto Bathsheba in Shlomo, saying, Have you not heard that Adoniah ben Haggit became Melech, and David Adoniah kneweth it not, and their master David knew it not. Verse 12. Therefore come, let me know, give you counsel, that you may save your own nefesh and the nefesh of your ben Shlomo. See, because once he established himself as taking over the sovereignty of David, he would kill Shlomo and the other priests and other people that are siding with David that didn't agree with this. Verse 13, and go and get you in unto HaMelech David, and say unto him, Did not you, master, O HaMelech, swear unto your maidservant, handmaiden, saying, Surely Shlomo, your man, shall be reign as Melech after me, and he shall sit upon my kissy. Why then does Adoniah reign as Melech? Why then does Adoniah reign as Melech? 14. While you yet speakest therewith HaMelech, I also will come in after you and confirm your Davarim, the words. Verse 15. And Bathsheba went in unto HaMelech into the cedar. And HaMelech was Zakin Moed, and Avishak Ha-Shunammite attended unto HaMelech. Verse 16, and Bathsheba bowed and did obeisance unto HaMelech, and HaMelech said, What is you? 17, and she said unto him, Master, you did swear by Hashem Eloheka, the mighty one of the universe, the mighty one that you serve, Yahuwah, unto thine Amma, saying, Surely Shlomo, your ben, shall reign as Melech after me, and he shall sit upon my kissy throne. And now Adonai Yah reign as Melech. And now Adonai HaMelech, you knowest it not. Hey, look at Adonai Melech. He's master Yah, or Yah's master, Yah master. It got to his head. His name got to his head. And he has sacrificed shore and fatted bull and zon in abundance, and has invited all the Benai HaMelech and Yatar, Abathar, HaKohan, and Yoab, the Sar HaZava, but Shlomo, your Eved, has he not invited. Verse 20. And you, Master HaMelech, the eyes of Kol Yasharel are upon you, that you shouldest tell them who shall sit on the throne of the Master HaMelech after him. Otherwise it shall come to pass when Adam HaMelech shall lie with his avot, that I and my son Shlomo shall be counted Hata'im. He will kill him. Verse 22. Hini, while she yet was speaking with Hamelech, Nathan Hanavi also came in. Verse 23, and they told Hamelech, saying, Hini Natan Hanavi. When he was come in before Hamelech, he bowed himself before the Hamelech with his face to the ground. Verse 24, Nathan said, Master Hamelech, have you said Adonai shall reign as Melech after me, and he shall sit upon my throne? And he was gone down this yom, and his sacrifice shore, and fatted bull, and Zion in abundance, and has invited all the Benai Hamelech, and the Sari HaZava, and Avitar Abither, HaKohan, and behold, they eat and drink before him, and say, Yeki Hamelech Adonai-Yahu. Long live Hamelech Adonai-Yahu. Okay. Verse 26. But me, even me, your Eved, and Zadok HaKohan Benaiah ben Yehuda, and your Eved Shlomo has not invited. Is this thing done by Adonai Hamelech, and you have not showed it unto your servant, even who should sit on your throne, Adonai Hamelech after him? Verse 29. And Hamelech swore a Shevah oath, and said, as Yahuwah lives, that has redeemed my nefesh out of Kol Za'ar. Verse 30, even as I swore a Shavuah unto you by Yahuwah Elohi Rashuel, saying, surely Shlomo your Ben shall reign as Melech after me. He shall sit upon my Kissi throne in my place. So will I certainly do this yom. 31, then Bathsheba bowed with her face to Eretz and did reverence to Hamelech, and said, Yeki Adonai Hamelech, Master, the sovereign David, Li Olam, live forever. Long live Hamelech forever. Verse 32, and Hamelech David said, call me Zadok HaKohan, and Nathan HaNavi, and Benaiah ben Yehuda, and they came before Hamelech. So he's gotten all the chiefs coming in as witnesses into his bedroom, to his throne bedroom. 1 Kings chapter 1, verse 1 through 31, and I went through it. So this concludes the parashat completely with you this moment. All right? This concludes the whole parashat. Praise Abba Yah for this great opportunity to be with you this yom and to share this parashat and even the Haftorah. So it's wonderful to get the details and share the details with you and reveal things to you and give you some revelation that you probably never heard before, and tell others to subscribe. I don't remember where I put it. Subscribe to my website and get the latest hits coming online of my latest ones I upload. I got a lot of them I'm preparing to overflow and shoot in that I haven't done in a while, but they've already been edited and ready to put in, getting ready to put in when I make a couple more volumes. So I just thank you for tuning in and praise Abba Yah for this great opportunity. If you would like a PDF file, I can email you a PDF file of anything, a PowerPoint, a PDF file of my files of information for you to teach others. My PowerPoint of Eagle Saving Ministry at yahoo.com. Email me, and then I will send it to you through the internet. Or if you want a hard copy, I'll mail a hard copy too. Okay, but you can print up the copies I send you to through a link through the internet. Praise Abba Yah. And you go this way, you can be instructed and learn and bridge yourself and cross over and grow with us as it says in Zechariah, that we'll have a clean lip and a new tongue and a clean tip, and walk in the understanding of Torah, and walk in the language of our ancient forefathers. Hallelujah, praise Abba Yah, to eliminate all the Catholic, Latin, Roman, Catholic, Apostolic, Christian Church, paganism of the Greco-Roman, Latin language, and all their pagan words they have infiltrated in and placed in so that you can grow out of it slowly. We're not putting nobody down. We're helping you. We're giving you information to teach you, instruct you, and get a clean language. You can speak clean English words that you don't even know of, which we're going to teach you in this information. Thank you for tuning in. We love you, appreciate you. Until next time, be berekot, and may Yahuwah's Baruch and Berekat be upon you in the Shem of Yahuwah. Amen, amen, amen.